Consent Form. Jackson State University Consent Document for Research Participant. Investigator Taylor Marie Bembery, Department Mass Communications, address 790 Harding Street, Detroit, Michigan 48214. Telephone number 313-529-6159. JSU email address j0062235@students.jsums.edu. Advisor Dr. Monica Flippin-Wynn, Department Mass Communications, address 1230 Raymond Road, Jackson, Mississippi 39204. Telephone number 601-979-2481. JSU email monica.g.flippin-wynn@jsums.edu. Title of the study, JSU Research Experience Interview. Purpose of study. Jackson State University has a body of excellent scholars who are conducting research, receiving grants, and making significant contributions to the academy. This portion of your research assignment requires you to conduct an interview with a scholar at Jackson State University. These research interviews cannot be from faculty in mass communications. This assignment will give you the opportunity to speak personally with other professors, learn about their individual research, and find out what they are currently doing in their disciplines. Methods and procedures. The entire procedure should take no more than 1 hour. If you agree to take part in a research project about personal research at JSU, you will first be asked several questions about your personal and background information, such as age, race, family background, and upbringing. The questionnaire measures only an estimate of the research experience here at Jackson State University. Therefore, results will not be provided to you. You will then be read the risks and discomforts, benefits, confidentiality of records, voluntary participation, consent, and a story about the research subject, and asked to answer several questions based on information you are given. You may ask questions at any time during the study, and you are free to contact me or my advisor should you have any questions about the research project. Risks and discomforts. There are no psychological risks with this research. Benefits. The information obtained in this study may not directly benefit you. Confidentiality of records. All information obtained during this study is private. That is what protects the privacy of people by withholding their names and other personal information from all persons not connected to this study. Voluntary participation. Taking part in this study is completely voluntary. You may refuse to answer any specific questions. Participants may withdraw at any time without penalty or prejudice. Participation consent.
I have had the purposes and procedures of this study explained to me and have had the opportunity to ask questions. My signature shows my willingness to take part in the study under the conditions stated.
So my name is Taylor Bembery from Dr. Flippin-Wynn's Research Methods MC 401 course, and I'll be conducting this interview about your research experience at JSU. This interview will start now. What is your first and last name?
First name Almesha, last name Campbell, Campbell. First name Almesha.
What is your biological sex?
Female.
Where are you from geographically?
From St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean.
Where were you raised geographically?
St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean.
What is your ethnicity that you identify with?
British Caribbean.
What is your age? 18 to 24 years old, 25 to 34 years old, 45 to 54 years old, 55 to 64 years old, 65 to 74 years old, and 75 to 75 years or older. Okay.
35 to 45.
35 to 45. Okay. What is your position or title here at Jackson State University?
Intellectual Property Manager in the Division of Research.
Where did you complete your undergraduate education?
University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida.
And what did you major in?
My major was in liberal studies.
Okay. Where did you complete your graduate education?
Jackson State University, Mass Communication Department.
Okay. What was...
And I'm currently a graduate student, PhD student in public policy and administration.
Can you repeat that one more time?
I'm currently a PhD student in public policy and administration in Public Service College.
What was the topic of your dissertation?
My dissertation topic was the corporate manipulation of media and its corporate manipulation of media.
Okay. What type of research did you conduct, qualitative or quantitative, and why?
Qualitative for my thesis. I use qualitative because I use content analysis to look at how advertisements, how news broadcast was manipulated because of the corporate ownership of most of the media companies.
Okay. When did you start doing research? What was the first research that you conducted?
The first research I conducted was part of a mass communication class, and the class was about race, ethnicity, and gender.
How important do you think it is for undergraduates to complete a research methods course?
I think it's very important because in any type of scholarly activity, as well as even in on the job, you have to conduct some sort of research to move forward, and understanding the basics of research that you better position yourself to be at top of the field. And then you're able to gain knowledge from some of the researchers or some of your advisors and professors.
Okay. What advice could you give to students going through the IRB process?
Having done IRB about 6 or 7 times, the key is always to understand what your objectives are. Make sure when you're doing the city certification that you understand the roles and responsibility of you as a research student, understand some of the legalities in terms of conducting research, especially with human subjects. And in filling out the application, that you make sure that you have everything listed that should be there, so that you are given expedited IRB approval.
How many research projects have you done?
So far about 7, and I'm working on 2 as part of my PhD program. I am currently doing a pilot study on residents' perception on the impact of the revitalization of downtown Jackson on community and economic development, as well as my dissertation topic, which is a multidimensional approach to understanding the prevalence and incidence of obesity in Mississippi.
How did you get funding for your past research?
Most of our past research was self-funded in terms of any of the subjects I used in my study. For example, in my surveys, participants in the survey were entered into drawings receiving certificates or gift cards. So far I haven't used any sources, but for my dissertation topic, I'm hoping to seek funding from some sort of local establishment, like a nonprofit organization or community-based initiative.
With the current research that you plan to participate in? What inspired you to want to do that research topic?
The
Okay.
first topic which I'm doing is a pilot study on the residents' perception on the impact of revitalization on downtown Jackson on the economic and community development of the area. I chose that topic because I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing downtown. When I first arrived in Jackson, downtown looked vastly different to what I remember. The buildings were abandoned, even though we have a few still abandoned buildings. We're seeing where a lot of buildings are being revitalized, like the King Edwards, the Iron Horse recently opened, I think was sometime last week. We have more energy efficient buildings, and so I'm very impressed. And that I think there's Jackson is moving forward, and with some of these developments, we could actually take care of some issues that would help our citizens in terms of better jobs, better transportation, less crime, and so forth. And my dissertation topic, I chose obesity, the prevalence of obesity, because obesity is a big issue in Mississippi, as you may have heard. We've been constantly number one or number two for the last 10, 15 years. And even though the numbers are stable in terms of it has been the same for the last couple of years, it is big, it's a huge thing. And if people are not healthy, it means they're not living longer. It means there's a burden on the healthcare system because they have to constantly be in the hospital, as well as at work. They miss jobs. They're unproductive most of the time because they're tired. They can't, come to work as much often because they get sick. And so I feel like there should be some policy issues established to help those people. And so my goal is to create some sort of policy whereas the government would adopt it in terms of having more physical education in the elementary school. But my main goal is to say have track and field competitively from kindergarten through, well, let's say K to 5, K to 12. Have that going on constantly to keep the kids very active and make it a part of the curriculum, as well as to ensure that anyone who is receiving any type of government assistance in terms of taking care of medication or anything must go through some kind of programming to deal with obesity.
Right. What well, I'll just ask you what areas you're working on now. Any suggestions for new researchers?
Do something that you're passionate about. If you choose a topic that you're not passionate about, you get lost in the research. You have no idea of how to develop your research methods. You have no idea what your outcomes should be, what you want your outcomes to be. You have no idea who your subject should be, your population, as we would say. So, first of all, what do you see as something you're passionate about? Like if I'm passionate about that people are not getting enough physical activity, then my research area must be something in that area. For example, because I like what I'm seeing downtown,
right.
that excites me to dig deeper to find out what do people think about all this development downtown. Do they think it's a good thing? Do they think it's a bad thing? Do they think it would enjoy their standard of life? Do they think it would bring in more businesses? Would it increase tourism? So the key thing, do something you're passionate about, something you have some background information on. Because as you start doing the literature review, there's so much information out there, you could get bored. And if you get bored, then like I said, your paper would reflect that. So always do something you're passionate about. Or especially if you're a graduate student, do something that could land you a good job. And for example, in Mississippi, if obesity is constantly, we're number 2 or number 1 in obesity, then it means there's some money out there. There's some opportunities for me after this study to get a job, maybe with the local government, the state government, or the federal government, because they're looking for people who can develop plans to assist them in alleviating those issues. So all 2 things, like I said, is either to do something you're passionate about and do something that can land your job after graduation.
Okay. Why is research important to mankind?
Research is important because it allows us to see what we're doing wrong, what we could do differently, some best practices. It also can prepare us for the future. If we know how something was done in the past and how and find ways to correct it, then we can have, you know, better life, better things going on. Like, for example, like the obesity. If we do the research now and we figure out a way of how to alleviate the problem, then Mississippi will move down. People live longer lives, more healthier, more productive, have better lives. So that's the key for research, that we all benefit from the end product.
Thank you for your participation. If you have any questions or concerns, please state that now.
I have no questions, no concerns.
Okay, thank you for your participation.
You're welcome.